Good morning. It's so great to be back with you. Actually, yesterday, it's crazy. I was looking on my Time Hop app and it said, getting ready for my friendship talk for the group of moms in New Jersey. And here I am 4 years later talking to you about friendship again. I'm so excited to be with you. I wish I could be with you in person, but I am literally on the other side of the country in southern Washington. My husband and I live on a 160-acre farm. We are in the process of buying, restoring, and renovating his grandparents' farm. So we like to pretend that we're Chip and Jo. I don't have any shiplap yet, but I'm working on it. I do have 4 kids. They are 10, 8, 5, and 4, and we are in our second year of homeschooling. So my life is always pretty busy, but it's a lot of fun. My husband is the senior pastor at our church, and I have the privilege of leading our moms group. I could be right there with you. I'm right there with you in the trenches of life right now, so I get what you're going through. But I absolutely love that you're there. This is the first step. We're going to talk about this a little bit today, but you are making an effort and you are there surrounded by these women, and that's incredible. So we're talking about friendship and friendship with women today, and this is a tricky subject. There's a lot of misconceptions. We have a lot of expectations, and we're going to kind of cover it all, and I hope that this speaks to some of you today. So I don't know about you, but I spent so much of my adult life wondering where Joey and Chandler are. Now, not necessarily Joey and Chandler, but I've yearned for those friends that are close, that are right there, that I see all the time, because I think we get in our heads that that's what grown-up friendship looks like, that everybody else has these friends that they see on a daily basis, that they're constantly with, that they're constantly talking to, that they run over to every time there's a problem. And the thing is, real life just isn't that way. Friendships outside of high school, college, even when we were working, if we used to be in the workforce, it was a lot easier because we were surrounded by people all the time. And now as stay-at-home moms, it's so much harder. We really have to make the effort. We have to make that choice. And our kids aren't props that kind of show up on the sitcom when it's time to move the plot along. They're there. We have things we have to do. Our life isn't Hollywood. And I think we also have this weird idea that good friends, they talk every day. Now, I don't know about you, and I know my husband would agree with me here, but I don't have interesting things to say to my husband every day. When he comes home at night, the things we talk about are pretty mundane and not really worthy of sharing. So if I don't have something interesting to say to my life partner, the person I do life with every day, how much less do I have to say to a friend every day? So I think we get it in these heads, though, that to be a good friend or to have a close friend means we have to have this Rachel and Monica kind of thing where we're constantly sharing, we're constantly talking, we're always together, when that's just not how it really is. And Facebook and social media really propel these myths, and we see other people checking in or posting pictures, and we think that, wow, everybody else has this and I just don't. Now, remember that social media is the highlight reel and not the behind the scenes. And for people like me who are boring, you better believe I'm checking in or taking a picture when I go out, because most of the time I'm just binge watching something on the TV with my husband. So we're posting our highlights, not our day-to-day truth of, I'm actually lonely. I feel alone. I don't feel like I have close friends. I don't know what to do. People aren't saying those things. They're posting things to make themselves look like the myths we want to believe. Real friendship is work. Like I said, this isn't Hollywood. This isn't an episode of Friends. We have to let go of the idea that real friendship happens organically, happens magically. This is just as crazy as the belief that the only thing that you need to make a marriage work is love. Because like marriage, friendship is voluntary and it is a choice. And it is a choice you have to make day after day after day. And even when it gets hard, you have to continue choosing. So here's the thing. Now I'm going to put on my soapbox shoes before we get going too far. And this kind of helps propel one of those myths too. But you'll see. So BFF. So many people say that, or they talk about their bestie, and it just kind of makes me die inside a little bit. Now, here's the soapbox reason why I don't like BFF. One, it makes other people not want to get to know you. For people like me who are a little bit introverted, who are pretty shy, when I find out that someone has a bestie or they talk about their BFF, it kind of puts me off and thinks, well, why should I even try? Why should I get to know them? They already have this person. They don't need me. So then I stay away. I don't try to develop a close friendship with them because they already have somebody. Second, I don't know if you've ever been in this boat. I have, where you're pretty close to someone and you feel like in your head, they're kind of one of my best friends. And then you hear that person say something about their best friend, and then you feel inside like, oh, so she's the creme brulee and I'm the jello. Yay. And I wonder sometimes when you talk about your best friend out loud, how that makes your secondary and tertiary friends that feel, if they're maybe viewing you as their best friend, but now they know you don't feel that way. So I just want to encourage you to watch yourself when you use BFF and bestie. But here's my real reason for talking to you about it today. The word BFF obviously stands for best friends forever, and it's that last part that I have an issue with, because I think sometimes we think that grown-up friendships, adult friendships, real friendships have to be forever, that we have to have this cradle to the grave thing, or that we have to be with this person from when we meet them until when we die. And that's just honestly not how most adult friendships work. And I don't want you to feel like the transient, temporary, temporal friendships are not meaningful and are not worthwhile or weren't real. Because the truth is that God has a way of moving people in and out of our lives for a reason, for a season, for when we need them, when they need to teach us something, when we need to teach them something. He brings people to us at a specific time for a specific purpose, and I truly believe that. So I don't ever want you to feel that just because a friendship was transient or temporary or went away, that it wasn't real or meaningful, that it didn't matter, or that you have to have a friend forever for it to be a real friendship, because that's just not true. One thing to do, though, is when a friend moves on, stop and reflect. Take some time for reflection. Think about, what did I learn from this? Why did God bring them to me? Why did God move them away? What did I learn during the time this person was in my life? But just remember that temporal friendships matter. And if a friendship isn't forever, there's nothing wrong with you. And it's okay. That happens to all of us. It really does. We just don't want to say those things out loud. Now, you might be going, okay, so you're saying some things I'm kind of on track with, but Becky, you don't know what I've been through. You do not know how women are. Yes, I do, because I'm a woman and I know that women are mean. I've given this talk a couple times this past year, and every time I say, I'm Becky and I've been hurt by a woman, I make myself laugh because it sounds like a lyric to an R&B or a country song, depending on how you say it, but I have been deeply hurt by a woman, and I bet if I had you guys raise your hands right now, which I'm not going to do, and I wouldn't know if you're doing it or not, but most of you would raise your hand, because I bet some of the deepest hurts you've ever experienced have been at the hands of another woman. I don't know about you, but I have been betrayed, lied to, gossiped about, left out, rejected, backstabbed, and it's very hard to get over. And I understand those deep hurts. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to admit something about myself. Because I have been so wounded by other women, I am very intentionally hard to get to know. I like to keep other women kind of at a safe arm's length. You stay over there, I'll be over here, and maybe I'll let you in if I trust you, if I think you're going to stick around. And I'm just going to tell you that it's not a healthy place to be in. It's not a good place to be in. And it's something I am continually working on in my own life. It's worth it. Here's the deal. Friends are going to let you down 100% because we're human and we're people and we're insecure and we have our own things. You're going to be disappointed, offended. But here's the deal. It's worth it. It's worth it. Every time. Okay, I'm going to read something to you. It's from C.S. Lewis. I'm going to promote him a lot today because I just love him. So here it is. This is from The Four Loves. To love it all is to be vulnerable. It's a scary word. I'm making my mom talk about it next week. To love it all is to be vulnerable. Love anything and your heart will be wrung and possibly broken. If you want to make sure of keeping it intact, you must give it to no one, not even an animal. Wrap it carefully around with hobbies and little luxuries. Avoid all entanglements. Lock it up safe in the casket or coffin of your selfishness. Oh, C.S. Lewis. But in that casket, safe, dark, motionless, airless, it will change. It will not be broken. It will become unbreakable, impenetrable, irredeemable. To love is to be vulnerable. He gets you. It is selfish. Here's the thing. These words are hard to hear, but it is selfish to keep your heart chained up and to keep yourself from giving it to others. You are cheating the body of Christ when you let your past hurt keep you from reaching out and connecting with other women. You are cheating that body of Christ. It is your calling to connect. It is your calling to be there for your sisters in Christ. You might have excuses. I have them too, and I've heard a lot of them. You might be saying, well, okay, so I'm on board. I understand that I need to be vulnerable. I get that it's worth it. But Becky, I don't like women's activities. Well, I don't either. I'm going to be really upfront with that. The pastor's wife who's admitting out loud that she thinks women's teas and pajama parties and crafting, I don't like any of that. I get it. You need to try anyway. You need to put on your happiest face and sit there. Just show up. You don't have to like it. Be there. Find the other girl in the back that doesn't like it either and join up. Try. You have to try and put yourself out there. Maybe you're thinking, well, I get along better with men. Neat. If you're married, you can't anymore. That doesn't work anymore. You can't get along better with men. You have your husband and now you have women and you need to learn to like them. I'm introverted. Well, I like to call myself queen of the introverts, so I get it. Put yourself out there. Be tired later. It's worth it and you have to get over it. Okay, the one. I'm busy. We're all busy. We are. But you're here today and that's a big deal. So you're putting aside some of that time and you're showing up. That's great. I read somewhere that things like texts, Facebook messages, those are the life support machines of friendship and they keep it going, but mechanically. So when you are busy, when you are in those times, do those things. Send a text, send a message, send an email. Let your friends know you're thinking about them, that you're caring about them, ask them questions. But remember that you need to connect face-to-face, in person, when you can, as often as you can, to keep your friendship really going and rooted up. Now, here's some things. So we've gotten over our excuses. Sometimes we have expectations. A lot of times we expect people to be someone that we're not, and that keeps us from developing friendships. I think I talked to you guys about love languages last time, but for me, this is a tough one. Absolutely no one that I'm close to gives love in the way that I receive. I'm a words of affirmation, and none of my close friends, my parents, my husband, none of them give love that way. And so for me, I guess, I keep quoting Friends today, but a lot of times I've felt like Ross at the airport, where I will say this big flowery, oh my gosh, you're so meaningful to me, and I really love our friendship, and I get an awkward, thank you, back, instead of like where's the, you too, Beck, I love you, you're an awesome friend, but we don't get that back. Now, for me to walk away from that friendship or to feel hurt or to just build up those resentment feelings would be unfair, because I would be expecting those people to be a person that they are not. Just because someone doesn't love the way I expect them to doesn't mean they don't love. You can't expect people to fit into your molds or meet your expectations. Sometimes we need to go out of our way and think, how do I meet theirs? What can I do for them? And learn to receive love and recognize love when it is being given. You know, maybe someone's a time, maybe someone's gifts. I don't like gifts, and gifts kind of make me feel uncomfortable. But I've learned that when someone is doing that for me, that is the way they are showing love to me, and I need to receive that. Instead of being upset or thinking, why can't they just pay me a compliment? That's what I really want. We just need to let our expectations not get in the way. Here's the biggest one, and it's something I like to talk to moms a lot. Insecurity. I think insecurity is the biggest plague to women right now in our culture. And it is actually really destroying our friendships, and it's keeping us from establishing true, authentic connection. So I think making friends, especially when you're kind of in these early getting to know people phase, it's a lot like beginning dating, and it's a lot like beginning high school dating. So now I know you're all going to laugh, because this is how women are, even if you don't want to admit it. So maybe you worry like, oh my gosh, she hasn't texted me in 5 days. Is something wrong? I think she hates me. Are we still friends? What is going on? Why hasn't she texted me? Or this one, oh my goodness, Facebook, you kill me. Where you can see that they've seen your message, and then you're kind of watching the time tick by, and it's been 27 minutes and she hasn't responded, and what is going on? And then you get so nervous and insecure that you call your husband over and you're like, can you please read what I just sent her? Is it offensive? Oh my goodness, what did I say? What did I say? Could she read this wrong? Why is she mad at me? Why does she hate me? We are never going to talk again. When in reality, her kid probably threw something down the toilet, or whatever. She's a mom. She's not mad at you. Stop being insecure. Or, okay, this one's, I hate to admit this one, it's embarrassing. Or you're going along, you're happy, you're checking your social media, and then it's Sally, one of your close friends, just checked into the zoo with Angela. She's cheating on me. Who is Angela? And then you click on that's my angry typing face. Who is Angela? And then you, oh, Angela likes cooking. Angela reads books. I think I hate Angela. We do this though. We get so insecure when we find out our friend has another friend. The horror. We think we have to be the only one, or they have to get right back on our texts, or we just fall apart and feel so insecure, and we let those waves of insecurity wash over us, and then we start to withdraw, and we withdraw even further. Excuse me, every time that happens. And we just kind of keep, like C.S. Lewis was saying, keeping ourselves from being vulnerable, and we keep locking our heart up tighter and tighter and tighter, when it's really just these foolish things that don't mean anything that are making us this way. When we're insecure, there isn't true community. We don't get to experience community when we're insecure because we're not being our true, authentic self. Sorry, I have a lot of notes. I'm really passionate about this. When you're insecure, you're not being you and who you were created to be. God made you on purpose for a purpose, and you're missing out on growing and serving with others when you're living in your insecurity and in your fear. That's really what insecurity is. It's fear of being seen, fear of not being valued, fear of people seeing who you really are, the beautiful, broken mess that you are. Put yourself out there and just get over those fears and be willing to take those risks. So I want to tell you about my grandmothers. This is a little bit hard because one of them passed away last week. But there's stuff to learn, I think, from people's failures and from their successes. But I have two very different grandmothers. One, my grandfather passed away almost 25 years ago, so she was alone. Her kids are kind of scattered all across the country, but yet she's thriving in her old age because she is connected with this group of women that meet together every week. They talk about Christ, they talk about their lives, they pray together, they share, they grow, and they just have so much fun together. She just has this tight-knit group of friends that have really kept her going. My other grandmother, she had her husband, her kids all live super close by, her grandkids are all super close by, but she lived out her old age isolated, alone, kind of bitter, because she let her pride get in the way. She lost her hearing about 20 years ago, and at that time she stopped going to church, she stopped connecting with people, she stopped trying to talk to people because she was so afraid of people seeing her flaws, of people seeing who she really was. And it kept her so isolated where she didn't really have anyone at the end. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to keep yourself from connection because you're insecure. You are so worthy of being loved and of belonging, and I hope that you realize that. Insecurity doesn't just keep us from connection, it can do the opposite. It can make you really off-putting, where people aren't going to want to get to know you even if you're amazing, which you probably are. So some things that insecurity makes us do that keeps us from developing those connections is sometimes people withdraw and they don't say anything. Maybe these people are in the discussions today, and if this is you, pipe up, that don't ever say a word because we're afraid we're going to say the wrong thing, or that we're going to say something stupid, or that they're going to judge us for what we just said. Or people who are insecure talk too much, and they overcompensate, and they never stop talking, and they talk a lot about themselves because they need to puff themselves up continually, and that's very off-putting. Maybe they constantly apologize for everything they do, or everything their kid does, or everything that's happening. You don't need to apologize. You're a human. Stop it. Like I said, people who puff themselves up or who constantly mugging for attention. when you recognize that, when other people are doing that, I encourage you just to give grace and to recognize that as insecurity and to go, that woman needs a friend. That woman needs love. And to just reach out and be there for her, because that's what that is. Insecurity really masks the beautiful person God created. It is putting on a falsity and not letting people see you. And you are so beautiful. And you are actually so much more fun to be around when you are confident in who you are and who God made you to be. And that's going to make you the best friend. Here's something. Your identity and sense of self-worth cannot be tied to the opinions of other people. Cannot be. You have to be confident in who God is and who God made you, and you are made in the image of God. And your worth does not depend on what other people think, and that the true friends are going to love you and value you for who you are, and they are going to see past all the things you're afraid of. But we're so afraid. What are we afraid of? We are fear of not being liked. Maybe some of us, I struggle with this, we're fear of intimacy. We're afraid of truly connecting. Maybe you're afraid of being found out. Maybe there's something in your past that you think people can't get over, or something that you're dealing with right now that you're just afraid for it to come out. Maybe you're afraid of dropping that facade, and like you've been living that supermom thing all day. That's why my blog is called Chasing Supermom, because some of us are just running so hard after that supermom title, and we want so desperately to be seen as perfect. And I just have to tell you, that is exhausting. And maybe you are afraid of that facade coming down and people recognizing that she isn't really supermom. She isn't really perfect. Well, guess what? None of us are. It's okay to drop that facade, because it is so tiring keeping it up. Maybe you're afraid of being authentic. You just like the act you've created, and you're afraid of really putting yourself out there and really connecting. I think we really do have a fear of true connection, because being vulnerable isn't fun, but it is the birthplace of everything good. It is scary, but it is the birthplace of everything good. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to live through whatever you're afraid of. So many more people are going to be accepting of your quirks and misgivings than you even think. People like real people. One of my mentor moms shared a story sharing her deepest, darkest, ugly truth last year. And the second she did it, everyone was like, I like you so much more now. You are human. You are like me. We all want to know that other people are flawed and are just like us. I said one time I was at a friend's house and I had to go upstairs to collect a child, and I peeked inside our master bedroom and it was trashed and filthy, and it just filled me with joy, which is awful to say, because she was human and she was just like me. People like your flaws. People are going to get over it. People are going to like it because they are flawed too. And it's going to help you grow and connect when you are dropping it and just being who you are. Okay, so I know the first time I spoke to you 4 years ago, I talked a little bit about the rock. My dad, when he was a little boy at recess, he would sit out on this rock and wait for people to come talk to him. And it never worked, because you have to put yourself out there. You cannot sit around and wait for someone to come to you and realize how awesome you are and ask to be best friends. It is not third grade. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to talk to people, and you have to make the effort. If you're sitting around going, why doesn't anyone invite me on play dates? How come no one has us over for dinner? Ask yourself, are you inviting people over for play dates? Are you asking people over for dinner? You can't ask those questions unless you're willing to hold up your end of the agreement. Get off your rock and go talk to somebody. I've talked about this too, but we do all these stupid things to keep people from talking to us. I invented the busy shuffle, where when I'm in social settings and I feel uncomfortable, I will scroll through my phone and like be very interested in text messages I got 3 weeks ago, because I have to look at my phone because otherwise you might talk to me. Or I'm very interested in stirring my cup of coffee right now because that keeps me from having to say hello to you. And when you see those women doing those things, I push you to just nudge them a little bit out of their comfort zone and say hello. And if you do those things, if those are your security blankets, just realize that the woman over there that you're afraid of talking to, 99% of those women will actually say hello back to you, and she might be someone that you really need in your life. Don't fail to recognize your inherent worth and the unique contributions you bring to the table. You are someone that no one else in the entire world can be, and that is you, and God has gifted you in such a unique way, and please don't cheat your community out of what you offer because of your fear. You know, you could walk around singing the Aladdin song, you ain't never had a friend like me, all day long, because no one ever has and no one ever will. There's only one you. I kind of want to quote Dr. Seuss to you right now, but I'm not going to. Here's the thing. You never know the impact or purpose you could fulfill in someone's life. Someone could be waiting for the exact thing that you have, the experience that you've gone through where you can bond, the lesson you could teach, the way that you could relate. You don't know. You need to put yourself out there. Maybe you're afraid. Start somewhere silly. So I have a couple friends that I wanted to get to know, and we just started, okay, this is embarrassing. We live chat The Bachelor together. And it's just a goofball thing, but doing that small kind of silly thing has caused us to talk more. And so now when we see each other on Sundays, we have things to talk about because we had a starting place. So start somewhere goofy. You do not have to start off with these deep, meaningful, heartfelt conversations. Just start. Start somewhere silly. Find a shared little interest and go for it. Now, I said this wasn't third grade and we don't do notes, but honestly, my husband and I met some of our closest friends at a church one time. We would kind of wait and watch for people who looked about our age to come to the sanctuary. And one Sunday, he got up and pretended to go to the bathroom, and he wrote out on a little piece of paper like, "We would like to be your friends. Would you like to come over?" And he actually had a yes or no box, and it was just so corny and stupid that they checked yes, and we were very close with them the whole time we were at church. So just don't be afraid to put yourself out there and take a risk and ask somebody over, or just start by saying hi. Say hi to the woman sitting across from you at your discussion table that you're intimidated of because her hair is always done or she's wearing earrings in the morning. Like, get over that and just talk to her. You need each other. You are hardwired for relationship. It is built into our DNA. It is built into our system. Love and belonging is one of our most powerful basic needs. It comes after safety and food and water. It is in us, and we will die without that connection. Here's the thing. I absolutely love my husband, and my husband is the one person I will say out loud is my best friend. He is not enough. And your husband is not enough for you. It is easy to just be content and to say, like, all my social needs are met because I have my husband. And I think that is awesome. I think husbands and wives should be best friends and should be very close and should have the strongest bond on earth. But this happened to me the other night. I was just having a moment, and I just needed to vent. And I just needed to just release my emotional blah on my husband. And of course, what did he do? What does he offer me? I can hear you all out there going, he gave you advice. Yes, men are fixers. Men like to give us answers, and he could not understand why I was just like, oh, for the love, just listen to me. Just let me vent and just agree with me and say, oh, yeah, that really stinks. I am sorry. Wow, what a horrible thing. That is all I wanted. I just feel like sometimes I shouted to him, talk to me like a girl. And he can't because he's not a girl. That's not how he's made. I need a girl. All I wanted was someone to say, like, yes, you have permission to lock yourself in the bathroom and eat peanut butter cups today, Becky. Or, oh my word, yes, I am so thankful for Disney Junior in the afternoon too. Like, that is all I wanted. Just the affirmation, the validation, not someone trying to fix my problem, because that just made it worse. So you need more than your husband. Friends are an indispensable part of growing in Christ. They're a holy enterprise. You need friends in your walk with Jesus. You need them to pick you up, to keep you accountable. Now let's look at Jesus' example, because we got to bring it back to the man. So Jesus had an outer circle where he had everybody, and he was willing to associate with everyone. My husband kind of calls it, sometimes Christians, we get at this idea that we need to be in our holy huddle. Like, we have an influence over everybody we come into contact with. And you always need to be ready to shine a light, to rub shoulders with, to serve everybody you come in contact with. Now, Jesus had a healthy relational distance. He had influence over everyone in the outer circle. Not everybody necessarily had influence over him. So be discerning and be careful who you let speak into your life, who you let have that influence over you. Don't always be so eager to invite everybody right into your inner circle. At the same time, some of us who are insecure, who have been wounded, who have been hurt by other women, we tend to keep everybody on the outer edge of that circle and say, no, nobody's coming in here. Are you allowing people to speak into your life, or are you keeping everybody on that surface? Are you never going beyond The Bachelor? Are you never getting to the heart of the matter? You need quality women. Quality women are key to revealing to you the best parts of yourself. the parts we have a hard time seeing on our own. Quality women will change you. I don't know if you are like this with me. When I listen to music, it really affects my mood, and I can go from being in an awesome mood to just being moody and contemplative based on whatever I'm playing. And I think our friends are like that and we don't realize it, that we become the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So you really need to choose carefully, because friends have a way to powerfully affect us, either positively or negatively. So yes, let people in, but be discerning about who you let really speak into your life and who you let have influence over you. Now, Jesus had an inner circle, and I love his inner circle. It was his disciples. It was Mary, it was Martha, it was Lazarus. These are people that he did ministry with, that he served with, that had shared goals, common interests. Kind of like the women who are with you today. You all have that common playing field. You're all in this together. These are friends that get you. And isn't that what we all want? We just want someone to get us. Friendship, I love this quote. Friendship is born at the moment when one man says to another, "What? You too? I thought nobody but myself." ... We just want to be understood. These are people in your inner circle that you do life with, that go beyond being Facebook friends. These are actual friends. These are kind of when we move into that, we see each other in person and we talk to each other like humans. We share meals together. Now, I get that it's scary to have somebody over to your house because it's a big hassle, but we're doing it tonight. And we're just making tacos, and I'm not even bothering about cleaning. Just people don't care about having a perfect house. They just want to connect and they just want to see you. So do it. Have a messy meal. Have people over. Share meals together. Share experiences. Serve them. Pour yourself into these people. If you want someone to pour into your life, be ready and willing to pour into theirs. Now, you might be craving that Rachel or Monica, or if you get this reference, I love you 100 times more, you might want a bosom friend like Diana Barry. But the people you really need in your life are the iron sharpens iron friends. Hebrews 10:24, let us consider how we can spur one another on towards love and good deeds. You need those women in your life who are going to make you better. I think about the way that Jesus gently corrected Martha, and the friends that I have that call me out on my things, but they do it in such a loving way, that are like, "Becky, I love you, but I think you need to think about this," or that send me a verse, or that send me a song, or that tell me a book I need to read, or just pray for me when I'm going through those hard times, that don't judge me or use my flaws as ways to get at me, but who genuinely say, "I love you in spite of this, and let's help you work through it." These iron sharpens iron women are so meaningful, and you need them. You need women who will go deep, who will go beyond that surface with you and love you anyway. Friends keep us accountable. James 5:16, admit your faults to one another and pray for each other so that you may be healed. You need to find some of those friends that you can go there with. You need people that point you to Jesus. You need friends that serve, that meet needs. You need to anticipate your friends' needs. Be there for them. Give and take. Have a mutual understanding. Philippians 2:3-4, do not be interested in only your own life, but be interested in the lives of others. Friendship is a two-way street, and you need to make sure that you are giving as much as you are taking from others. Friendship isn't convenient. Let's get that really, really straight. It isn't convenient. It's hard, and it's work, and it's sacrificial. It costs something of you. Think about the friends who carried their paralyzed friend through town. Not only did they carry their friend on a mat, they drug him up to a roof and were willing to dig a hole in somebody's house so that they could get their friend to Jesus. Now, I want those kind of friends who are willing to do things for me that are crazy and radical when I need them. Those are the friends you really want to pursue. You have to be willing to invest unselfishly in others if we want to experience a friendship that goes beneath the surface and makes any sort of impact. If you want those kinds of friends, you need to be willing to invest, and you need to be willing to put in that effort too. You can't just sit back and go, "Why aren't you serving me? Why aren't you loving me?" if you're not doing it too. Think about ways. How can you serve the woman sitting across from you today? How can you meet her needs? Is her husband away? Is she spending a lot of time alone with the kids? Show up at her door with her favorite coffee and tell her to get out of the house for a couple hours. You know, what your friends really need is for you to love them and be there for them. Love them through the hard times, love them through the good times. Rejoice with them when something good happens. Sometimes that's hard for us to do because of insecurity. Sometimes we don't like seeing other women succeed. But be happy for your friends when they're going through something wonderful, even if it's something that you desperately want to. Cry with them when they're sad. Remember their losses with them. Love them unjudgingly when they do something wrong. Forgive them. Give them grace. Love them through their insecurities. Just be there. We know that loving other people means wanting what's best for them and wanting what God wants for them and seeing them through God's eyes. I love this verse. Love from the center of who you are. Don't fake it. Don't fake it. Love genuinely. Love from the center of your being and just give to others that authentic love. Your friends are going to let you down. We think about Peter, who was close to Jesus, and he let him down in Jesus' biggest hour of need. But Jesus forgave. I think about when Jesus appeared after he had been resurrected. In Mark 16, Jesus appeared to Mary and told them to go tell the disciples and Peter. I think he singled Peter out by name because he knew how Peter would be feeling after Peter had just denied him. And he knew that Peter would need that special reassurance that Jesus still loved and cared about him. I want you to think about your friends that way. And when someone maybe has let you down or someone does something that disappoints you, to just have that forgiving spirit and to know, like, I know I need to reassure you. I know I need to still be there. People are going to mess up, but don't be so quick to drop someone. We are sinners saved by grace, and we are so often happy to receive that grace and sometimes so stingy with giving it. So really protect and guard the friendships that matter and mean something, and love someone through their mistakes when you need to. So I have a couple action steps for you today. We've gone over a lot of material, but I want to give you some really practical advice because sometimes I think application is really what matters. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to pray. And I want you to pray for something really specific today. I want you to spend some time in prayer praying that God will bring you friends and will bring the right friends and the friends that he wants you to have into your life. And then I want you to pay attention to the women that he brings into your life, or to the women that suddenly start appearing around you, because things don't happen by accident. God doesn't do things on accident. So really pray, God, give me friends. And if you are yearning for that close friendship, start praying for it and really notice who God brings. I have this quote: in friendship, we think we have chosen our peers. In reality, a few years difference in the dates of our birth, a few more miles between certain houses, the choice of one university instead of another, the accident of a topic being raised or not raised at a first meeting, any of these chances might have kept us apart. But for a Christian, there are, strictly speaking, no chances. A secret master of ceremonies has been at work. Christ, who said to the disciples, "You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you," can truly say to every group of Christian friends, "You have not chosen one another, but I have chosen you for one another." Friendship is not a reward for our discriminating good taste. It is the instrument by which God reveals to each of us the beauties of others. You are in this room for a reason, and you are surrounded with the women around you for a reason. God has put you there, and you are not here by accident. Whether the relationships that you have right now or that you begin to develop are temporary or longer, whether those people ever transition into your inner circle or not, the people you are surrounded with right now are there for a reason. God has put them there either to reveal something about you, to reveal something to you about God or his purposes, or for you to have an opportunity to minister to and serve someone else. Don't always think about friendship as what can I get out of it. Think sometimes about what can I put in? What can I do for someone else? Don't miss out. If you've heard anything today, do not miss out on what God is doing by letting fear or insecurity rule over you, and by letting your insecurity destroy your chance at having a friendship. Get off of your rock and put yourself out there. Do it today, right now. Not right now because I'm talking and you're going to do discussion, but think about it. Put yourself out there. Allow people to see you. Beautiful mess, imperfect, flawed, quirky, all of it. Drop that facade. It is so tiring keeping it up there. Be imperfect, be who you are, and stop letting insecurity get in the way. seek to live out that kind of friendship God desires, that iron sharpens iron friendship. So you're going to pray for God to bring friends to you. You're going to stop letting insecurity roll over you. Pray for God to strengthen your existing friendships and to bring them to that deeper level. Pray for God to reveal in you any areas of weakness. Are you being insecure? Are you being selfish in your friendships? Are you being unforgiving? Help God to reveal those things to you. Ask yourself, do my friends know how I feel about them? It doesn't matter how you feel about your friends if they don't know you feel that way. Sometimes people are shocked to learn that they actually matter to you because you haven't said anything and you just have this loving feelings in your head. Tell someone they matter to you. It is super scary, I'll tell you that. Being vulnerable is intense, but do it. It's so worth it. And then I have a couple things I want you to read. I want you to go home and read Romans chapter 12. I want you to read Romans chapter 15. And I want you to buy a copy of C.S. Lewis, The Four Loves, and read it because it will change your life. Ladies, thank you so much for letting me share with you today. I hope you will come find me. Come find me on social media. Come find me on my website. We'll put that screen up for you. I'm Chasing Supermom at just about every social media account, and I would love to chat with you more. Thank you so much for sharing with me, and I hope that you will drop that insecurity and start connecting authentically with the women around you today. Thanks so much. Bye.